Hi, welcome to another video. Um, I've been debating about how I want to do some videos about my pen collection, and I would like to do a video of everything, and I will at some point, but I'm waiting on two pens to be delivered now. One that I've been waiting for since October, so my patience is wearing a little bit thin with that one, but I digress. Anyhow, there's two that I'm waiting for to be delivered, so I can't right now do a complete because technically I already have those ones. I have paid for them. They're just not here yet. And if I did one right now, then I would not be complete because I do have these other two ones. They're just not here. So anyhow, I decided that I would show my Pelikans because I think this is it for my Pelikan collection. I don't have any desire or need or anything for any others. I have two of the M200 series. This is a 200. This is a 205. The difference is just the 5 indicates that it's got silver as the metal accents. So this is an M205. This is an M200. And then I have two M600 series, a 600 with the gold and a 605 with this gray, I don't know how to pronounce, or Soveron, I believe it is. Streisman. Oh boy, I'm just destroying this. Anyhow, these are both 600s. And then this is an M800 in or 805 in the silver. And I don't have any need or desire to have an M1000. Like it's not even like a grail pen or anything for me. These 5 that I have, I love all of them mostly. We'll get to the caveats here in a minute, but I have relatively small hands, and I can use bigger pens just fine. But like, you know, I've heard over the years that like many people consider the Pelikan 800 to be like the perfect pen, and it is a pretty darn good pen. I will concede to that. You know, it fits nicely. Whether posting makes it a little bit too back heavy for me, but anyhow, if I had an M1000, could I use it? You know, absolutely. Would I enjoy it? I don't know actually, because I haven't used any pens that big. Even my Leonardo's, I don't have any of the Grande series. I just have the Momento Magico and Momento Zeros. So I don't have any even of the large versions of those pens. The biggest pen I have girth, like width-wise, is the Conklin that I got in the mystery box from Atlas last week, or 2 weeks, whenever it was, recently. The longest pen I have is my Edison, but excuse me, and I can use both of them just fine without any issue. But I guess I just want a pen to feel like what I expect a pen to feel like. And these do that for me. I think all of these have ink in them right now. This will come as absolutely no surprise, but they all have dark blue ink in them. That's another video I'm going to do someday, is my blue inks. I've been on a quest to find the absolute perfect navy blue, dark blue, whatever, black, blue ink. And I mean, the answer is Diamine Oxford Blue. That is the perfect, like, dark blue, navy blue ink. Like, it is the perfect ink. But I continue to look, to think there might be something out there that I like better. There won't be. That ink is absolutely perfect for me. But I keep looking and keep trying. And anyhow, I have a lot of dark blue ink samples. So one of these days I'm going to sit down and do all kinds of swatching with all of the dark blue inks that I have. And then we can, first of all, make fun of me for being utterly ridiculous, but also look at all these blue inks side by side and see, how much overlap there is, how much difference there is. Anyhow, besides that, these all have some dark blue ink in them of some sort right now. I do have a handful of other colors of ink, but it's like literally a handful. But these all, I think these are all either extra fine or fine nibs. And this is where we get into my caveat of where I said I mostly love them. Because Pelikan nibs, while they generally are quite good, there's no rhyme or reason to their sizing. Like none. Like there is no rhyme or reason to the sizing of these nibs. Two of them, the one that I can't pronounce, this one I bought from a seller on eBay, and it's probably the most accurate of the nibs. This one is an extra fine, and I do not know if it was, if anybody had done any work on it or anything when I bought it, because it was used, but it's like a perfect pen. It's very, very nice. So this one has an extra fine. The rest of these, whether or not they're fine or extra fine, they all write like at least a medium, maybe even a broad. Like they put down a lot of ink. This is the first Pelikan I bought, and I love this pen. It's super cute. It is moderately transparent, so you can actually even see the ink in there, but I think it's very pretty. It writes very nicely. These M200 series pens, they have steel nibs, whereas the others have gold. And these pens write just as nicely as the gold nib ones do. But this is the first Pelikan I bought, and it was fantastic out of the box. Love it. This is the second one I bought, and this pen was like, it's not the pen's fault, but I have so much resentment towards it because the retailer that I bought it from, I've mentioned this on some of my other videos, but I will not name the retailer, because this may have just been a one-off situation, but I will never buy from them again. I will say that. When it came, the nib was very, very scratchy. Like it would write and I could get ink out of it, and it was fine, but it was very, very scratchy. And Pelikan nibs are not scratchy, like at all. So I contacted the store where I bought it and said, look, this nib is, it's not right. Can I send it back to you to be tuned? Or can you just send me a new nib and I'll swap it out and send you this one back, or, whatever. And they directed me to YouTube and told me to fix it myself. Said there's lots of videos on YouTube that show you how to fix a scratchy nib. And no, that's not okay. If this was a pile of Kukuno, whatever, maybe that might be an okay response. I don't even care that this is a cheap Pelikan. This is a Pelikan. Like, you directing me to YouTube to fix my nib, violating my warranty, and like there was just so many things wrong with them telling me to do that. And I'm struggling with this so much. I mean, it's been, I don't even know how long ago that this was. It was quite a while ago. And I really would like to buy more things from this shop because they often have like really good prices on things. I enjoy, like, they have great newsletters and, social media content. but they directed me to YouTube to fix a scratchy nib. And there's just so many things wrong with that. So I bought this one shortly later. I think it was this one. And it was one of these two. And when it came, the nib on it, it wrote fine, but the nib was a little bit off. It needed just a little bit of tuning. So I contacted the retailer that I bought it from and said, hey, you know, this nib isn't quite right. Can you help me out with it? And they're like, absolutely, send it back to us. They sent me a label. I sent it back to them, and within a day turnaround time, it was done, and they sent it back to me. They didn't do anything, any modifications to it or anything. They literally just, I don't know, sanded off the scratchiness. So while I was communicating with them, I was like, look, I have this other one that I got and it's not right. And, I don't feel like it's my job to fix my pen. I expect to buy something and have it be right. Anyhow, I said it was super, super scratchy. Will you work on pens that are not purchased from you? And they said, yeah, absolutely, send it to us. So I sent it to them, and they sent me a message, and they're like, this is like the scratchiest Pelikan we have ever seen. And I was like, yeah, I know. I know how bad it was. And like the seller, the reputable seller directed me to YouTube. I'm sorry, that horse is dead. I need to get over it. But anyhow, I sent it, they fixed it. They sanded it down or whatever, however they do it. And it writes like butter now. Puts down a lot of ink. But anyhow, so that's the story behind this little one. And again, I don't care that these are 200s with steel nibs and not the, expensive, quote unquote, with gold nibs. It's still a Pelikan. You know what? Even if it was the Pilot Kukino, that, was a $15, $20 pen, the retailer should honor to make sure that I'm happy. And so it doesn't matter. Anyhow, what I thought I would do is I will stop complaining about this. But I'm just going to pull up some paper from Tomoe River from an old Hominichi and do a little bit of writing with it. I'll see if I can see what the nibs are in each of these before I start writing. But the variation in the Pelikan nibs is really, it's a problem. And I'm only not mad about it because it's kind of a known thing. And, you kind of know when you're buying, first of all, a Western nib, it's going to be fatter than or wider than a Japanese nib. And primarily I use Japanese nibs. But like, even comparing these to my Leonardos that have steel Western nibs, these write really, really fat. So anyhow, let's just scoot them all out of the way, and we'll kind of just go in order that I have them laying here and do a little sample of each. I hope the lighting isn't too terrible in here. But let's start with this one, and I might have to focus this after I get going, so give me just a second. But this is a Pelikan. 205. And this nib is, of course, I can't see it. I think this is, hang on one second. Let me turn on some better lighting and zoom in. Okay. I just looked at them all. So this is an extra fine. So smooth as butter ever since they polished it up for me. I have no idea what they did to it, but I'm going to call it polished because But man, this pen just writes like a dream now. It's super smooth and the ink flows like perfectly without even any weight on it. It's nice, but this is an extra fine nib. So, and I don't remember what ink this is that's in here. This one is the M200. And this one is a fine. If you hear that noise, it's like not any feedback or anything. It's literally just me writing on the paper. This one I can get a little bit of line variation out of if I want to. Not a lot, but you know, a little bit. I can do a little. I mean, these have steel nibs, but it's, you know, it's not bad. Again, this one, the ink just flows just without even any weight on it. So that one's a fine. This one is a, I wish I knew how to pronounce what this is. What the model is. Not the Sauveron, but it's like somebody's last name. And it's really long, and I believe it's German. Anyhow, it starts with an S. Anyhow, this one is an extra fine. And this one writes more like I think a extra fine should for a Western nib. This doesn't even come close to what a Japanese extra fine would be, but this one actually appears, looks, whatever, as an extra fine line. Compare this to this, and it's so much, you know, thinner. Ink flows out of this one super nicely also. But the nib is a little finer, so is a little thinner as it comes out without any pressure on it. But it's there, comes out. But let's just, for argument's sake, let me do a couple little lines here. This one actually also feels a little bit dry when I write with it. And this one feels like soup. Puts out a whole lot more ink. Very, very wet. Now, yes, they have different inks in them, but regardless, there's a very clear distinction. This one is much fatter than this one is, even though they both supposedly have an extra fine nib. And then I think these last two are both fine. Yeah, this has a beautiful two-tone nib. You don't get that with the silver plated versions, but the gold ones you do. Whoops. Again, super smooth. Puts down a ton of ink. Flows just, that was my fault. Flows just perfectly without any pressure, or maybe this is almost out of ink. Maybe that's a problem. Anyhow, this pen is just absolutely delightful. This is the one I've been using for the past week or so in my journal, and it just writes. It writes really well if I know how to spell. So this is the M600, and again, this is a fine point. And then This is the 800, 805, excuse me. And also a fine. Yeah, this is also a fine. M805. I am a mess today, you guys. I am so sorry. It's M805 fine nib. And this one writes very nicely. I'm pretty sure it was this one that I had to send back, the 605. Yeah, it was this one that I sent back, and then they worked on the 205 for me also. But this pen writes very, very nicely also. This one I just put ink in the other day because it was just about out. And this is Iroshizuku Tsukio. But anyhow, another, ink just flows out of it with no issue whatsoever. There must be oils for my hands on here. I think that's what's going on here in the middle, up here also. Anyhow, another, just a very nice pen. And it's totally apparent to me why the 800 model is so popular among people who enjoy using Pelikans, because it's really just, it just fits in my hand. It's not too wide. It's not too narrow. It's a good weight. I don't even know what else to say about it. It is a great, great pen. So again, I don't have an M1000. I don't really have a desire to have one. If I'm going to spend that much money on a pen, then I, would get a sailor or maybe a pilot. But I wouldn't spend that much on a Pelikan because I prefer to write with a Japanese nib. These pens, I love them. They all write very, very well. They put down a lot of ink, as you can see. But just myself, I prefer to write with a Japanese nib. I love my Pelikans. I'm going to, keep them for as far as long as I can tell. I might, this one I might sell at some point, because actually when I bought it, this is kind of embarrassing, but like I wasn't really paying attention, and I thought it was blue. I didn't realize that it was the silver and black one. And the description clearly said that it was, but the picture must have been that the person who took the picture had like a blue shirt on or something, and when the light reflected off the pen, it like looked blue. So I was like, oh cool, that's a blue one, because I didn't have these ones yet. And then it came and I was like, wait, they sent me the wrong pen. And then I, went in to make sure that I didn't buy the wrong pen. It turns out, no, they sent me the right pen. They sent me the pen that I bought, which was clearly stated to be black and silver. But it was me in my eyes, only looking at the picture and not, fully reading the description. Besides the what I call fat nibs on Pelikans, my only other complaint about them is that, with the exception of this one, you never know how much ink you have. And if you always use the same ink, and you just can be like, you know what, I'm going away in business for a couple days, I want to take my pen, make sure it's got enough ink in it, and just fill it up, and not have to worry about it, that's okay. But if you like to change inks a lot, like I do, even though they're all dark blue, we won't go there, that's a separate issue. I I don't want to do that. I want to have the ink that I'm using be a true representation of whatever that color is. And with none of these can I see, like, even if I hold them up to the light, there is no transparency whatsoever with these for me to have any idea at all how much ink is left in them. So even if I wanted to, you know, just change the ink, I could potentially be dumping out a whole bunch, because no, I will not put ink back into an ink bottle. There's too much risk for contamination. You may feel differently, and you're allowed to feel differently, but that's how I feel. So I'll just dump it out. But anyhow, it does make me sad that there's not a way to know how much ink is in any of these pens besides this one. But I mean, is it the end of the world? No. Is it a deal breaker? Obviously not, because I still have these multiples. And I love them, but I might, you know, at some point decide to get rid of this one, because it's not the colorway that I wanted. And it doesn't match my aesthetic. But it's, you know, I mean, it's a nice pen, and it actually writes like an extra fine. I do think probably that this new nib was maybe worked on a little bit to get it to be more dry and more to behave more truly as an extra fine compared to a normal, because it behaves differently. But I don't know. I mean, it might not have been. It might just be this one. That's how it is. But even if that is the case, that's just more representation of how varied the Pelikan nibs are. But I love them. I enjoy writing with them very, very much. I do think every once in a while about sending at least this one, maybe this 600 out too, to have the nibs, you know, cooked down to be more like at least like a Japanese fine, if not closer to an extra fine, because I think I would like writing with them more. Because now, like this writing that I was just doing in here as I was showing these, this is way bigger than like my normal handwriting. And if I did my normal handwriting with one of these fat flowing pens, it's essentially like just not legible. I don't know. Because I usually can write like within a Hobonichi blocks, and this makes like 2 full blocks for me writing. And I can fit in a block, and it is legible, I guess. But I don't know. It kind of looks like it runs together to me. If the ink feathered at all, it would be like very hard to read. That's a little bit more representative of my writing. Nice and small like that. But I can write, you know, bigger like this, and it's fine. Longer writing, I do usually write a little bit bigger like that. But when I'm limited to this much space in my daily journal, the smaller writing is what I tend to do. And when I'm at work, I tend to write pretty small also. So anyhow, that's it. That's my Pelikan, my Flock. of pelicans, and this was a really random video. I honestly don't even know why I did it, but whatever, I'll upload it anyhow. But yeah, there we go. I will do other videos with the rest of my pen collections. Oops, oh gosh, I forgot I was zoomed in, so sorry. With the rest of my pens at other times, but these are my pelicans. So thanks for suffering through this, because this was painful. And I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.